The price of Bitcoin is $104,200, give or take a little bit. I've got a bunch of trades open and a lot of them are going well because they're all short positions. And the reason why I'm short on the markets right now is because of this. Iran and Israel having another tiff that's resulting in the terrible affecting of people's lives. And it's terrible and they should just stop. But they're not going to stop. And Trump seems to think he's got some kind of solution for it. But I mean, look, there's been a war going on in the Middle East for the past 2,000 years. The idea that Trump can somehow solve that, no. So this will probably continue to get worse. And at the same time as that kicking off, we've got kind of general sentiment on the market being pretty low. Home builder sentiment nearing pandemic lows. Economic uncertainty plagues consumers. Now, I don't know about you, but certainly for me, I'm considering investing in property. And the only thing stopping me from investing in property right now is the hesitation of prices could get lower. And if prices are going to get lower, that creates negative equity on mortgages. If you've got negative equity on mortgages, that means the banks are in debt. If the banks are in debt, that could cause a bank run. And in the event where you get a bank run, you get really cheap prices, but also some kind of economic collapse. I'm very confident we're on our way there. I am currently also short gold at the moment. Ignore the dirty phone screen, but I am currently short gold as well. But I'll explain that as well later on in this video. There's so much going on in the world right now, but we're going to kick it off by talking about what is going on with the price of Bitcoin and why is Bitcoin's price a little bit lower than it was yesterday, and only a little bit. These aren't huge moves, aren't these? These are only, 2, 3, 4% moves, 2% so far today. So it's nothing crazy yet, but it could get crazy. And if it gets crazy, the amount of profit you can make from being correct from that is huge, because as you can see, when we start scrolling out and zooming out on Bitcoin, price is still very high. Look at all this room down here that it could grow into. It could be insanely good, could this, if we catch a huge short position on the downside and the bull market reverses itself. And you never know. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I am saying that I'm currently positioned for that to happen. We are looking at this level down here around $104,000 for a bunch of liquidations and a potential bounce. But if we go out here and we look at kind of like the 1 month range, how are we looking on the 1 month range when it comes to Bitcoin liquidations? You can see all the way down here around $100,000, a little bit of range here. Everyone will be expecting this range fills, and the reason that they'll be expecting this range to fill is because the billions of dollars that get liquidated in the event where Bitcoin goes up to about $111,000. And I'm not writing that off, no chance. However, I don't really think it's going to happen. And I believe this is one of those traps that we often see in crypto. I think it's a trap. Also, by the way, if you haven't already, drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. This is the second channel, which is now the main channel, because I'm banned on posting on the main channel for a little bit longer until those strikes have worked their way out of the system. So if you don't mind, dude, stop a like and subscribe, because right now we're talking about some important stuff. Anyway, back to the prices here. Bitcoin is properly motoring downwards. What kind of position size am I in with? Well, it's starting off here with an 888 size trade. The reason for that is lucky number is 888 in China, and currently it's paying $23,000. If we look at Solana trade, I opened that one this morning, and that's 10k so far. Nothing crazy, nothing terrible. The hype trade is now $2,000 in a profit. That's a medium-sized short position on hype. Fartcoin, yeah, with memes. Look, as soon as there is any wobble in the market, short memes. Easiest money you'll ever make. The only thing you've got to be very careful of, and I'm sure that some of you will have got caught out by this, is this. And I honestly think it's unfair, and I do think that BYBIT should issue refunds for it. But the other day, if we scroll out on this chart, there was a candle here on the SPX chart where somebody fat fingered it and bought through the order book, and it went from $1.37 up to being $3, liquidating basically everybody, and then immediately back down again. This only happened on BYBIT, so if you were short SPX on BYBIT, you got liquidated. This is market makers really messing with you, which is why when I'm positioning the size of these trades, they're not crazy. This is only $25,000. It could triple in price and I won't get liquidated. That's why. I mean, look, I get liquidated at $9. If we look at which other trade is the other meme coin trade? There we go. Fartcoin liquidation $15. Like, Fartcoin's obviously not going to a $15 billion market cap, so that's pretty safe. The other trade here is Ethereum, mid-sized short position on Ethereum, and that's currently yielding 23k. But the entry on that is really good. So fingers crossed that continues heading in my direction and we get some more gappage on this But for now, just very happy with how things have progressed in the past 24 hours, and I'll continue to hold short, but not on crazy sizing, nothing mental, just being sensible, shorting the market because look, there is uncertainty, and I'm looking for a break of this support level here. As soon as we come down and we break this support level here, the reason we're bouncing right now is because we're hitting this support level. But as soon as we break through this support level, and on Ethereum that's sitting somewhere around $2,483, as soon as we're kind of below that level there, we'll start seeing Ethereum make another, and it'll be another huge step down. We'll probably come back down to this white line here, somewhere around $2,200. Now, you catch a $300 move on Ethereum and you're shorting 1,000 Ethereum, then that means you make $300,000 just off that tiny move there. That's the goal, is just, do you have the balls to place the trade, and at what point do you enter that trade? Now, for me, it would be a break of that support level. If you look at Bitcoin, again, very, very similar story on Bitcoin. If I just zoom in a little bit on the chart so you can see it a bit better. Basically, we've got another clear level of support that literally we've just come down and hit. And that clear level of support is around about $104,200. We lose that level again, where we're looking at for a nice level for Bitcoin to come back down to. I would suggest that we'd probably do something like this, where we revisit the bottom of the range somewhere around $100,000. And if we failed at $100,000, it'd be all the way back down again, kind of doing some more sideways action. And there'll be a lot of people in the comment section going, oh, you're wrong, because Bitcoin never goes down. But look, we're stalling. Every time Bitcoin stalls, when it gets to a top, it goes down again. Every time. Even if it goes back up aggressively afterwards, it always goes down as soon as it starts stalling. You can see every single time, up, down, up, down, up, stall, down. Up, stall, down. Like it'll do the same thing as it always does. And that's something that you can rely on for Bitcoin. So that's why I'm saying, don't get too excited yet. We're far from, oh my God, this is crazy bull market, throw all your money into long positions and watch it ride. That's not where we're at in the market right now. We're at a very tentative time because of the things that's going on around the world. Another thing that's happening right now is that top oil CEOs sound the alarm as this thing is escalating. Because this is escalating and it's not getting any better, and this was only published 13 minutes ago, yeah, it's likely that Trump will say something and it'll cause the market to pump. Just like he did the other day. Trump says, I'm going to go in and solve this. And when Trump says, I'm going to go in and solve this, let me just show you what happened to the market, because it's very obvious. Trump goes, you know what, that whole thing that's happening right now, it'll be fixed on Monday. And then when it wasn't fixed on Monday, the prices went back down again. That's why it dropped. That's a simple reason as to why it dropped. The question is, can he fix it? The answer is no. But he can keep saying he'll fix it, and that'll keep propping up markets and keeping some kind of positive sentiment in there. But eventually, reality will creep in, and it'll continue to get worse, and prices will go down. That's not what anybody wants to hear, and it's not why you watch my videos. Another thing that you need to be very careful of right now is Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor has just bought another $1.05 billion worth of Bitcoin. This is going to end badly at some point in time. There is no way that you can continue to aggressively buy Bitcoin when it's at all-time highs. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would you be buying here? You had so long to buy, and yet now you choose to buy $100,000 Bitcoin. The only reason why there is positive sentiment still in the Bitcoin market is because Michael is going out every weekend and buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin. But eventually, he'll run out of money. And when Michael runs out of money, you've got to question, who's going to continue to put in? And this money that Michael Saylor is getting, does anybody actually know where it comes from? Are you familiar with where that money's coming from? Is it from good sources? Is it from bad sources? Nobody has any clarity on that. We just know that he's got $50 billion that he's using to buy. But every week he's clipping off $2, $3, $5 billion into the market. $50 billion doesn't last that long if you spend it as aggressively as what he's spending it. And I can tell you that if I was an investor in his fund, I wouldn't be happy with him firing in non-stop when the price continues to grow up. And why is the price going up? Because him and BlackRock keep firing in. And eventually, interest will wane and the prices will come back down. It is ultimately going into summer. And in summer, generally, we don't get positive price action. We get a lot of sideways. And this is kind of the market, this period in time here. This is what I'd be expecting. A lot of chop, a lot of sideways, a lot of me being wrong because I'll say it'll go down and it'll continue to go sideways. And people go, ha! You were wrong. And no, the answer is, it's just not happened yet. What I'm talking about is an overall larger move to the downside at some point over the next couple of months. And if you can position yourself in time for that and you get a nice entry up at the top up here, it's probably not the correct day to be taking that trade, if I'm honest. You want to be taking the trade from the top of the range, 108, 110. I said it in the group yesterday in the Crypto Saving Expert Discord community that you can join. It's not £100 a month, it's £20 a month. If you use code CSE80, you want to go on the Crypto Saving Expert link in the video description, click on monthly. I fire all of my trades in there. If you want to keep up to date on it, join this tier. It's £20 a month. Use code CSE80. Also, if you want a bot that tells you everything to do before it actually happens, Stonksy. It's been absolutely on fire recently. One more thing while we're discussing this. If you're wondering why I didn't post the past couple of days, this is why. This is me doing a terrible race start and a TCR race this weekend. And then a few corners after that, if I just scroll forward in the footage, there is a huge off. Yeah, there it is. I'm just coming across the road here, and you see that tyre? You see the tyre that just, if I go back a few frames, there's a car in the wall and there's a tyre going across the track, and I am so close to hitting that tyre, but the car in the wall is somewhere in all of that. It was absolute chaos, but racing is fun. Anyway, back to the video. So overall, the market doesn't look so positive, and Ethereum doesn't look so positive. And when we start losing these levels of support, there isn't a lot underneath to maintain that price. And even then, I would suggest that a wick all the way down to maybe $1,800 on ETH does seem possible, because when these things start heading down, you have people that are already trapped in long positions. Look how much trappage there is that's going on here. In this range of trading that's like from what, May all the way through May to the end of June, 6 weeks of people trapped in long positions that haven't fully paid off. And then if it heads to the downside, all those people are going to re-add to those positions, trying to average them down. But ultimately, all they do is cause a big financial bomb for themselves, and the market heads to the downside anyway, and then they all blow up and it creates a massive wick. And then you get a really good buying opportunity down here, maybe around $1,800. And then it'll do what they thought they were going to do. It's not that they're wrong, it's just that they're early. And that's why over-leveraging yourself can be very expensive as far as mistakes go. So don't do that. But of course, if you are interested in trading, check out the link to BYBIT and Blowfin in today's video description. BYBIT if you are in the free zones. If you're in the non-free zones, UK, US, Europe, use Blowfin. You'll find a link for it in today's video description. Fantastic exchange, pretty much identical to this. So yeah, check them out. Anyway, on that note, guys, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Iran's going to get completely nuked off the map? I hope not, but let me know in the comment section. Are you bullish, bearish? We'll find out. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Deuces.